And we are live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another round of the IIRL Racing League. We are back with another round. It is round 10 of the realistic tier on this fabulous but also wet Thursday evening. We're back with round 10. We've got 13 races for you tonight. And we are back because it is me and
Hey, Tacit, I'm back in the commentary box for the second time this week.
Tacit is back after doing the NA stream on Tuesday, as well as me competing in that race. It wasn't a good race for me, but what sort of things did you notice before we get into qualifying on Tuesday's race?
Definitely those changeable conditions. It was going from quite rainy to quite dry. The transition was very quick, especially, and the likelihood for early safety cars as well, and how that could define your strategy as well. Those are definitely some things we want to be looking out for.
Perfect. So we've got on our first cars out on track at the moment. John will be first out on track alongside, I believe that was a McLaren of Wizard Mitten, who said before this race that he was racing on keyboard, but I don't believe he is anymore. So very unfortunate there. But we do have some changes this week for cars and who is driving in them. So we have first changes in the Sauber and Hasses, with DeflatedWee and Camp swapping places after DeflatedWee had a good race in Abu Dhabi. Secondly, we have Ethan, who has been moved to the Alpine from the Aston Martin, and we have Alessio, who took 2 weeks off racing, and he has been moved down from the Alpine to the V Carb. And I believe that is all it for the most of the people in the same places. But John is about to get us ready for his first lap. He has now got a shared hating for the Sauber with DeflatedWee, so we'll see how John does on his first run of the qualifying session.
Yeah, out of the 80-degree banks last corner, draining the back on the straight. Important to break somewhere around the 50 board here, get the power down early. On the south road, that isn't the fastest car, tenths of the others. It's important to not ride some of the curves here, as it can land you in the barrier. We go through the 30-degree bank turn 3. Go now to turns 4 and 5. John setting most likely one of the faster times due to his natural pace. Up to the end of sector 1 is a 23 point or 24.0 purple sector.
Um, there might um, there might be a slight issue with the lobby settings, because Nico in the chat is reporting that there's no assist settings. So there might be a restart on offer here, as people are struggling. I think Wizard Mitten has just spun,
Oh, right.
as DeflatedWee is in the a realistic tier chat, and we might be having a restart.
Yeah, technical issues going on right now, but evidently.
Yeah, Nico saying he needs ABS. Yep, we do have a lobby restart, so we will get back with you with due course. But John setting a lap time of a 109.1, as there is now official that there is a restart because someone decided to get the settings wrong. But Cod Camper doing a 15.4. Not a great start from Cod Camper in his first practice lap, but of course this is a open tier in terms of settings, so we do have a mix of people that use assist and no assist. So the assists are very much necessary. Nico, yeah, that's fine. We're DeflatedWee is setting up a new lobby in which the settings will be correct. Until we get the word of the new lobby being open, we will then back out. But Ethan's setting a 109 in his practice lap, and David going P3 of the drivers that haven't all left and retired. And I believe, and Shermanator going P4 as well, so as we will wait for Wizard Mitten getting disqualified. Everyone else is backing out now, so we will join the new lobby.
Yeah, hopefully we can have a better lobby this time that does not suffer from any issues.
Yeah, of course, there's not very often that stuff like this does happen. I believe it's the first lobby restart of the season, actually, or one of. So we will be back racing back with qualifying as soon as everyone joins back. Apologies for the technicalities. But there were some good starting laps there from the drivers that were able to set a lap time in that session. Lobby is open, so you can join it.
Yep. We'll be joining now.
Absolutely perfection. So while we're in this waiting period, we will go through the results of last week. So the race winner was Killian. The report made by Max was not successful, and it was deemed a racing incident, deemed by the stewards. Then the Deton was originally given a penalty for a incident with Wizard Mitten that happened on the very final lap, but there was an appeal made by Deton, which was then ruled and changed to a racing incident. Wooter got a 5-second time penalty for an aggressive overtake on Jax on lap 28. And that. Oh, and Padge got 6 seconds of penalties removed after the penalty system decided to give him 5 warnings in one corner. Let that be known.
Yeah, let that be known indeed. Sadly, we are missing Padge this week, but there is undoubtedly going to be a lot of competition left. Gonna see how this turns out, especially with Wizard Mitten if he can stake it out on the keyboard. The first
Yeah,
time
and
I've ever
he
seen someone do such a thing.
he has got ads, so we'll wait for Wisman to come back because he's saying his best lap on controller is over 2 seconds faster than his best lap time on the keyboard. So I imagine that means that Wizard Mitten is not racing with a not racing with a keyboard. So yeah, Nico saying he's back on pad. Good evening, Rids. I hope you're all very well, my friend. We just had a lobby technical issue with the wrong settings being loaded, so we will be back up and running in due course, in the hopes that everyone's settings are perfect.
Yeah, the 1 minute 10s is a very good lap time. Although I believe the pole time will be looking for somewhere in the 1 minute 8s, but 1 minute 10 will set you a very strong time compared to everyone else as well. Just waiting for everybody else to join here. Most of the drivers in, we're just waiting for a couple now on the folks.
That is everyone in the lobby now joining, so we can get back underway. The weather conditions should be the exact same. Oh, that was TT, was it, Wizard? That's good. Because I mean, TT is slower than qualifying anyway, so
Could probably go into the low 1 minute 9s, would be a very good time. The high 1 minute 9s. Yeah, you could
exactly.
probably go to low 1 minute 9s as well. We'll have to see.
You'll have to wait and see for the restart of this short qualifying session, in which I don't think, like, I was there for like the last 5 minutes of the practice lobby, so I actually have no idea who is gonna get. Like, I made my prediction that it was Nico. I think Nico was gonna get pole. Because a few of the faster drivers that usually get pole have been downgraded a couple of cars. So, who knows? As we are
Who knows, indeed.
as we are back underway now, wait for the first cars to get back out on track. As yeah, Ethan saying, Mr. Weatherman is saying that it's dry. Unlike Tuesday's race where it was mixed conditions, as said by Tacit during the before the in our previous lobby. And I think John is going to be one of the first cars out on track. Wizard Mitten is also coming out at the same time, but he is just beaten out by John again in very exact manner to the first session, first lobby we were in.
Yeah, first lobby indeed. John out on track, joined by a couple others. He'll be one of the people taking competitive time we saw in the previous lobby. That was a 1 minute 9.1 on his first lap, so he could challenge the pole or in the higher places.
John was P3 last week in Abu Dhabi. He's looking for another strong race week here. Of course, he is on. He's up there in the running for the NA champion, trying to become the 5-time NA champion. Can he do it on a Thursday night in realistic tier? We'll have to wait and see. He is. John has not won a race since the second round of the season in Austria, but he's had some strong races in between and a couple of poor results. But as he gets us underway for the first lap made by anyone in qualifying tonight, to see what he can do.
Yes, what he can do is looking to get his 31st pole in the league, looking and convert that to another victory. That'll be his 54th win in total. Now he's going through the 30-degree banks, up through the last few corners here. In the Sauber, the current, as far as I'm aware, the slowest car still, or one of these slowest cars, setting its time 2/10 slower than his previous one, 24.2. Now he's going through turn 8 and the tricky corner of turn 9. One you would not want to bottom out on as it's a little snap.
And he now enters he's midway through the second sector, coming to the snake. They're described as a snake straight. It's very similar to Monaco straight, in fact it is curved. He comes through. I don't know any of the corner numbers, so that's going to go very well. But
don't worry.
As he perfect. As he enters the banking now, is it 18 degrees?
18 degrees. My Wikipedia knowledge.
Perfect. Wikipedia being very helpful. And John starts us off with a 107.37. Wismitten with a 111. Nico up next alongside Kodkampu, who might have got a healthy slipstream, but Nico with a 109.71. I think Kodkampu with a 15, so might be doing a double push. I think Killian next with a 10 flat almost. And Ethan goes fastest, 2/10 quicker than Nico. Ferrari of David has just done an A, and the other Mercedes of Max is up next and goes 6th with a 10.2.
Yeah, Ethan B on pole. That's going to be his 6th if he can convert that. He did get his first win in the previous round, although he lost that on track in Abu Dhabi last week. But despite that, one podium in his 25 races so far, so looking for a 6th pole in his 26th race.
And Shermanator and Alessio, who has returned this week, he's been moved down to the V car, but he is still in the gaggle of cars. There are 3 cars within the 0.7s, as I believe another car might have set a lap time. That guy is 10th. DeflatedWee is currently finishing his first run of the session. He has been moved down to the Sauber this week, as Cod goes fastest with a 109.4. Okay, as DeflatedWee goes P7. It's his first week of the season in the Stake F1 Team Cook Sauber. He is not very happy about it, but after last week he needed a week to show him how bad the car is.
Yeah, judging by pre-race reactions from DeflatedWee, it seems like the Sauber is a bit more of a punishment than driving a car on a beautiful sunny side beach track here. Down in the 109.9s, obviously the difference in pace between the cars is major, as he has a massive incident there, easy to bottom out those curves as I did in the practice bombing.
I call the ending of that slide from DeflatedWee. He is not having fun. That is the life when you are quick in this tier. When you are quick, you get the bad cars, and he will have to learn to live with it for this week.
The
Maybe it
challenge,
will change, but who knows?
the challenge isn't just the car; it's to rise above the performance of the car and beat above your weight compared to the people who have a hand up. When you have a hand down, it's a lot harder, especially in a car like the Salvo. The DeflatedWee returns to the pit lane. Almost
And
destroys the pit wall.
overtakes. He
They're too wide in the
overtakes.
pit lane.
They were too wide in the pit lane. That was a very, very good overtake from DeflatedWee there.
I must admit that is the first time I've ever seen people go too wide in the pit lane. But there's a first time for everything, especially here.
Any couple of drivers on outlaps at the moment. I believe that guy is just about to finish a run. He is currently a 10th up on his previous best lap time. And he goes P6, so great start there from, or great second lap there from that guy. Got 11 minutes left of the session. A couple of people starting out laps. One of them is Wizardmitten, who is now on Padge. Using a lot of battery down into turn 1, brake at the around the 50 mark. Don't hit the curb because I hate it. And uses slightly at that curb, bit more battery from Wizardmitten there. Just go deep because the world we live in doesn't represent the physics of the real life F1 cars. Bit more battery through this snaky section here, and enter the long right-hander down into 6th and back up to 7th. Got a yellow flag in the mid part of sector 2 for some reason. The stewards need to be fired. Wizardman entering another long right left-hander before the DRS straight now. As he enters the second sector split now, he is currently half a tenth up on his previous lap time. Using a bit of the curb on the outside of the hairpin as he enters this very quick right-hander before entering the banking now. He's got much overtake to play with, but he comes into the pit lane.
Yeah.
Killian comes to the line. He improves by 2/10 and pushes himself up to P6. I believe Alex has just finished a run now, and Codcamper is starting one. Next car, there are a couple of other cars starting runs before people have finished. I believe Alessio is the next car to cross the line. He's currently 2/10 up. Ethan is starting a run as well, along with Shermanator, both on outlaps and now starting runs. Alessio will be the first car, or the next car, to the line. As I said, improved by 2/10 at the second sector split. But as he comes to the line, he goes up to P2. Alessio P2, a 10th off Codcamper.
Yeah, well
Next
done
up.
for talking that long, Socks. That must be at least 2 laps of talking. I congratulate you for that one. Nice quite close. We've got Codcamper on an out lap. We've got Alessio on an in lap. They've got Ethan, I think, who is on a time lap right now. He's improving a couple tenths up as we go into turn 11, turn 12. Some of the hardest corners if you're on a pad, or they're not if you have the benefits of the wheel. Slight snap for him as well. Hunting down his 6th pole position, as I mentioned earlier, on the exit of turn 13, through the turn 14 bank corner that feels like a NASCAR corner, up to the line using all the rest of the charge, and that is going to be provisional pole of 109.246.
It's a good improvement there from Ethan to improve by 2/10 of a second. As next car to the line on a lap, I think it's not going to be John, it's going to be David, who is looking for a strong result this week. As there is a debate in the Twitch chat between Nico and Killian about overtaking in the pit lane. David coming to the end of his lap time, second lap time now. He improves by half a tenth, which pushes him up to P7. There's a couple of other drivers starting laps, but Nico coming into the pit lane. I believe Alex is the next car on a run. He's improving by 0.3 of a second. And he will cross the line with loads of battery left to play with. But he stays P13, but an 0.8 improvement. So a good lap there from Alex, who is returning to, as he hits the gravel, he's returning to realistic tier for the first time in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well done to Alex making that return. The current pole position time is around 8 to 9 tenths of the current record. As far as right, no assist, although I don't, this is somewhat representative of a 108.397 set by 1010.
Ooh, as Max is invalidated on the exit of turn 1. That's not what he would want for his second lap time. I believe next up to the line is going to be Wizard Mitten, who again at the second sector, at the mid part of the second sector, does not have a lot of battery left. But we'll see what he can produce. He's 200th up on his previous lap time left. And as he enters the final corner now, he hits the banking and crosses the line and stays P12 with a he was 0.2 down on his previous best lap time. Max has invalidated as previously stated, and that guy is finishing another run and goes up to P4 with a 9.5.
Yeah, it seems to be very close between him and Alessio. Not too many thousands there.
DeflatedWee coming. Yeah, and sorry for interrupting. DeflatedWee up to the finish line now. He improves by 0.3 and goes up to P5. It's more like it from DeflatedWee, who has had wins in this tier. I can't remember the last time he did, but it was a couple of weeks back.
I'll have to double check that one after this
It was
session.
Belgium.
Yeah,
It was Belgium. Belgium was his last win. He's had podiums apart from Abu Dhabi ever since.
Yeah, many podiums to his name. The most experienced driver in IIRL history, having done the most races. If I can just find it quickly, that is 288 races, making 289 start, one of the record 290. So showing his experience dragging the slow Saber car up to P5.
There's Max has just completed a run. He is still 10th with a 10 flat, which leaves DeflatedWee as the only one out on track, but he is not currently on a lap time. I believe that is Alex coming out. He has chosen the chrome livery for tonight's race. He is a McLaren fan, so getting to drive this car must be like a dream for him.
Yeah, that must be a dream indeed. Sorry for interrupting you there,
No, you're perfectly fine. Alex has been very vocal about his dislike of this track, so he will be hoping for all the best to try and score as many points possible. Of course, points do go down to the top 15 in IIRL, so as long as he finishes the race, he will score at least 3 points.
For 15. But in that case,
Exactly.
that is not the case because it is 13th up. As you said, you're right.
Yeah, I tried to do the math backwards and math weren't mathing, so we have to wait and see if that is. Exactly, as Alex will now start a run now, so we'll see what he can produce on his lap.
Yeah, around the 18-degree banking of turn 14, now through the start-finish straight, he's going to start his lap going on board with him, braking at the 50 down to third gear. You want to avoid the inside curve. It's not the best rotation, especially the outside curve. How it can let you bottom out down to third gear through the 30-degree bank turn 3. On the exit now, he's going to exit through turns 4 and 5, the winding flat corners in an F1 car. Alex, that's going to be increase of, he's up by 1/10. now going through sector 2. He's going through turn 7, through to turn 8 and 9. Some of the hardest parts of the track, not to bottom out on as well.
Entering the second half of the lap now, we do have some drivers coming out of the pit lane, maybe slightly earlier than you would expect, but about half the grid is now out on a out lap. As Alex is coming to finish his, he probably will have set himself up for enough fuel to have a cooldown lap and then go again for one final run at the end. So we'll see what he can produce then. But for this lap in particular, Alex will stay P13 with a 10th improvement. Good stuff there from Alex. Cod Camper is going to be the first car to come across the line for a... In fact, Cod Camper is not going to be, because he loves a double run. So we will be on board with that guy as we see what he can do. We'll see what that guy can produce, as he's got a bit of traffic here with Alessio. That's not Alessio, my bad. I believe that is Killian, who gets it out of the way as best as he possibly can. But could that have affected that guy's lap?
I would probably say no. He moved out the way at quite an early time. Not in the position where he would have got dirty edge. That guy almost bottoms out. Just notice both at turn 9, I think that is. Both the braking boards are out. The rest of qualifying.
No. Before the minute left as...
that guy validates dropped out.
Do you have Freddie as a friend? Because I don't. But they're home and they've got a minute.
Sure, I don't think so.
Right, for the next time they race, I'll add them. Because then I don't think they're going to make it on the lobby in time. But back onto the grid, that guy, P4... This is going to get confusing. More people starting their laps. First one to cross the line to finish one might be Shermanator. I believe so. Alessio P3 still. I think Shermanator's still got... Oh, Shermanator's starting one. Apologies. This is going to get very confusing. But Ethan is exiting the banking now. So he might be the first one left. As Ethan improves by 3... Oh, I'm not sure if he improved, actually. That's my bad. John is up next as DeflatedWee has left the session, which is not good.
Might be trying to get Frezzy in.
Maybe. DeflatedWee has left, but that means cars are gonna... Nico went P5. David then takes over P5. Alex stays P13. That guy is down on his previous lap time. Cod Camper is on pole. That's good for Ethan if he wants a chance at winning. Killian is up next and it only improves by a 10th, so he's P9. Max will be P10. Shermanator is 3/10 up on his lap time.
Yeah, he is indeed. Ethan going through the penultimate corner. Now he's got the DRS not over. I think he's not going to be starting higher than P2, missing out on another pole position. And that is the order for the race, folks.
Exactly, and I do believe that Freddie is not going to be able to make it into the session. As I don't have added. Oh.
Yeah, I don't as well, which is a bit of a problem on my part, as I could race one of the league I'm in, but let's see what we can do.
As Alessio now enters, but oh, it's too late now. But that is the end for our quali session here. We have Cod Camper on pole, Ethan P2, John P3 in that Sauber, Alessio P4 on his return, David P5, Nico P6, that guy P7, DeflatedWee P8, Killian P9, Shermanator P10, Max P11, and the two McLarens of Wizard Mitten and Alex at the back of the grid.
Yeah, indeed, it's very close, especially between some people like the teammates at McLaren, less than a 10 splitting them apart. On
Mm.
the front row, less than a 10 splitting them apart. It's very close between some ends of the grid.
Yes, Ethan saying he did. Um, Ethan saying that he lost 2 tenths in sector 3, which might have been the cause for that. But now, as we enter our 5 minute break, in which we let the drivers do whatever they so please. They can do whatever they want, get their strategy sorted. There will be no setup changes. So,
And
and
not many
we will
setup
then
changes to be seen.
exactly we'll see what strategies that might be changed from the equal cars. As on Tuesday, it did start wet, but most people did one stops after that. Maybe some of the drivers in the slower car will have to do two stops. I think a one stop in equal cars is actually the best strategy. But when it comes to the realistic cars, I wonder how different it is going to be.
Especially with all the different tyre wears, so the lower performance cars having the worse tyre wear. In the equal cars, a lot of the tyres can go quite long here to say we are in F125, though. That will be shaken up significantly with the performance.
Exactly, and when it comes to the end of this race and who get the strategy right, I mean, we saw some drivers in the practice race on Monday starting on the medium tyres, and it turning out to, I mean, be the spare strategy if that race actually finished. There were a lot of connection issues in
I've,
that race.
yeah, I've asked Freddie Fazbart to add
It
me, if possible,
That's
but
good
we'll
for
see.
future reference. It is too late for Freddie to join, unfortunately, because they have to join by the end of qualifying.
Ah, right.
So it is unfortunately too late. The only way that it'd get in is if there was a early start. So Freddie unfortunately misses out for this race, but I'm sure that they will be back, hopefully for maybe Sunday's race or next Thursday, where they will get to show them out and make their debut in IIRL. We've got a couple of minutes left, so is there anything else that we need to go through? Yeah, a couple of championship standings. So Codcamper is leading the way after he missed last week. He's got a 19-point gap to Alessio, who is also returning and looking for a redemption drive. He's got 19 points to catch up in the last 6 rounds of the season. Yes, I had to count that. DeflatedWee is P3, 31 points back from Cod Camper, and Killian is P4, 48 points back from Cod Camper. The all four drivers being over 100 points. John is P5 on 93. Björn, who has announced that he will not be returning to realistic tier, is currently P6, but we wish Björn the very best for his future in IRL and due course. Max is P7, David is P8 in the standings, Nico is P9, and Ethan, who has really had a meteoric rise in no assist and realistic tier and assist tier because he races all three, and he's had a really good rise throughout the tiers. Um, what are your predictions for this race, Tacit?
It's going to be very close at the start, although I predict it will just spread out quite a lot. On the no assist race on Tuesday, we had significant gaps between a lot of the players. The main fight was between the leaders. It was DRS train between P3, 2 on 1. And then there were a few other fights between a couple of drivers, although there was a fair amount of field spread. As I was saying on the stream on Tuesday, the most field spread I've seen in an IRL race ever in my time.
Yes. People in the chat, what are your predictions? We got Wizard Mitten saying that an Ethan win is on the cards. I'm sure Ethan will be hoping for that, but as long as he doesn't bottle, then we will be fine. As he said, if he's going to bottle, he has been demoted from the Aston Martin to the Alpine, so it's not a car that he maybe would have practiced with or know a lot about. He, as DeflatedWee, has left the session again, which is very, very unfortunate. So he will miss the formation lap, as Ethan has not got the right setup on.
Oh dear, the old curse strikes again. Hopefully we can get DeflatedWee back for the race. We'll see. This person I do have added, and they're
Perfect.
on Xbox.
Okay, that is fine. Then we're about to get underway, so I imagine there is a timer right about now,
Yeah,
as
1 minute
Ethan has got
late.
a Monaco setup on.
I'm not sure whether to be concerned or if that's the right idea.
No, I think people just waiting around for the call to go. As DeflatedWee is now back. I don't know when he'll take control, but we do get underway for the formation lap, so DeflatedWee will have no tyre, as we do have some interesting strategy calls. We have 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 of the 13 drivers on the medium tyres. We have 3 drivers on the hard tyres. And we have Max, who has decided to be bold and go on the soft tyres. I wonder how that will work when it comes to getting underway. Possible race strategies powered by AWS. I don't know what AWS are, but they probably are other brands available. Are mediums to soft and hard to softs and hard to mediums. So Camper leads the way round this formation lap, as we will be waiting for DeflatedWee's AI Ghost to get in the car, get in the grid box, and we will be last on this very, very short run. We do have 36 laps of this race. It is a short qualifying and 50% race league, or race tier, I should say, as we do run full qualifying with anything over 17 drivers. The Scott Camper now enters his grid box. He's alongside Ethan, who will be looking for a bit of redemption. He is yet to get a race win, I believe. So he'll be looking for that tonight. As everyone else enters the grid box, we are just waiting for Alex, and as unfortunately for Max, who is looking to get an advantage on those soft tyres alongside with Wizard Mitten, who's on the mediums, unfortunately starting 3 meters back as we wait for the ghost car of DeflatedWee for the race as we get underway now.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are underway for IRL. Oh god, IRL here in the Netherlands, round 10 in the Realistic Tier Championship. We've got a few cars going side by side, 3 wide between Killian and 2 others.
Oh, damage!
There's
damage in the back between
Killian, that guy, and Max. Massive shot. Seeing a lot of wing damage for Max, end plate damage for Killian, and end plate damage for that guy.
No safety car there. What? So in that guy, Killian has end plate damage. That guy has both end plate damage, and Max has got left end plate damage. So that is not the best start for that race. In fact, we got an early safety car on Tuesday, but we do not have one today. As you can see from that race start, John German was able to get past Ethan around the outside. How about that?
Other news, that is the big event that's happening. Most of the trains staying in behind each other. Not much field spread naturally, as you expect on lap 1. The main outliers being Alex, who is slid back. Apart from that, we've got those involved. That massive shunt, which I caught the end of. Not sure if Socks, you caught the end of that shunt or the start of it.
I caught the start of it, so because I was focusing on the front, saw it happen in the back, and then everything went amiss. as all three of those drivers are going to enter the pit lane in the hopes for a change of strategy and a safety car at some point in this race to help push them back to where they want to be in the field.
Yeah,
As Cod Camper, sorry. Scott Camper still leads the way. The change of strategies in the pit lane. Killian pitting onto a set of hard tyres and the other two pitting onto a set of mediums. With that guy and Max on the mediums, looking to go considerably longer in this race and hopefully not get more wing damage. They were the three that were 3 wide in turn 1, so I'm not surprised that with the track shortening that there was an incident. So we'll probably have to see how that turns out in the steward's room, but I imagine that's just a lap 1 racing incident thing.
Yeah, I believe you're the steward for today, I believe, Songs. I think
you Corgi.
Oh, Corgi. Well, I would probably rule that if I was the steward as a racing incident. You can go side by side for a stage 1. That's something we saw on Tuesday for anyone watching. A few of the cars are going side by side through stage 1. It is possible with the way the track works and most tracks in the F1 paddock, it's near impossible to go 3 wide.
John is very close to the back of Cod Camper. Dirt Air is very effective in this world, so John will be losing a bit of time out from the back of the Haas driver, who is looking to extend as that guy gets past Killian into turn 1. Killian not on the same strategy as that guy as it currently stands. Maybe a potential of a move in the back of the field into this hairpin, but nothing has come out of it. DRS is enabled, so John will probably get past Cod Camper into 1. As we watch here now.
Yeah, all of the overspeed of the DRS, John stays behind, and we do have an overtake David on Shermanator, and Shermanator on David. Contact between the 2 Ferraris, and they stay in position, but DeflatedWee looking for an overtake on David into turn 2 does not happen. They stay behind, stay into the train, although that train they are in, although they are a few seconds off the main train.
David is
already.
Oh, as DeflatedWee goes for a very bold move around the outside. Lovely move there from DeflatedWee. That will probably be the best overtake of the night, as that guy sets the fastest lap of the race on a different strategy. But David is on the alternative strategy, so he maybe was expecting to go down the leaderboard slightly as the race got underway. As we've got a train from P1 to P6 as it currently stands. Got the 6 of them all within a second of each other. Wonder if John's going to attempt to make the move this time. He does look very feisty, and he is going to attempt the move round the outside. Cod Camper does stay with him. Of course, these two very well acquainted with each other in no assist. But John does make the move around the outside, Cod Camper knowing that it's too early in this race to fight it.
Yeah, just been observing a few other drivers, Ethan, Alessio and Nico, just also they're managing the tyres right now, looking for any moves, managing the battery, the tyres, and making sure they can pull off the strategy they need to get their results.
As we expected going into this race that it was going to be very much a follow the leader type race, but we were not expecting contact so early on. I was expecting a safety car to, or at least a VSC to come from that contact, because that would have helped them, that guy Killian and Max a lot. However, we did not get that. We'll have to wait and see. Ethan is in the DRS of Cod Camper, who is also in the DRS of John. So I wonder if Cod is going to attempt to make the move. He has, with the use of DRS, of course, you can use DRS if you are within 1 second of the car ahead. There is no red button, so you can't go on board with any drivers, but if you would like an on board, maybe request it in the chat.
Yeah, we've got our own equivalent of the red button, but you have to spend 500 of your IRL channel points and just go on board with any driver available all season, although not at the high price of £28 a month. It's free over here. Watching this amazing overtaking here that you do not have to pay for either. We've obviously got that amazing move from DeflatedWee round through the end of the second sector, the start of the second sector. Certainly the move to watch. See if you can see any of those we've pulled off.
There's everyone just staying in that train for now. Todd Camper is still leading the way. He has, of course, he has been upgraded. So he is probably the on-course favourite to win this race. Of course, on no assist on Tuesday until DeflatedWee spun on one of the final laps of the race. All three of them were snug as a bug in a rug for the entire race.
Major lock up for John John.
It was a major lock up there for John John, my bad. It looked like he was attempting a move round the outside, but of course John John does know the Sauber car inside and out, of course being in the car alongside Björn for the entirety of the season, to say the least. He has said multiple times that those brakes do not work for his liking. And he also made a comparison to the Porsche in Assetto Corsa. Other racing games are available.
Yeah. There can be comparisons between F1 cars and other cars, although F1 brakes can go up to 1,000 degrees no matter what car they're in. The brakes will mean that even though there are differences between the performance, the fact they can go up to 1,000 degrees means that he won't be hampered by that too much.
Exactly, and as this train continues on, it does look like David, maybe the medium tyres are coming back into fruition. So it does look like David is rejoining this train and will potentially have a look to make a move on DeflatedWee as this race goes on. I don't know. We have no idea what the strategy is going to be. Only what is suggested by AWS. Other brands are available.
Yeah, well, focusing on our sponsors, we have the lovely Riz. If you want to say hello to him, join our server. He's our lovely sponsor. He's the option that we would recommend. Sort to.
Is now entering sector 2 again. Of course, 36 up race. We are trying to do maths. Just
almost a quarter way through.
Is it a quarter? Thank you very much.
Yeah. 9, 18, 27, 36.
36, perfect. John looking very feisty, of course. These two are just swapping positions for now. There is not much need for big fight. It is too early in the race for that. As maybe in the background, it looked like a car deflated. We might have been having a look at Shermanator, but is not able to make a move as it currently stands.
Yeah.
DeflatedWee. Apologies. DeflatedWee just looking. Well, he's looking the most feisty. He is looking ready to get past Shermanator. As someone's in the brake boards, that is for the Mercedes of Nico. Nico has just taken out the brake marker boards at turn 8.
That is turn 9.
At turn 8, as Max comes in for his second stop of the race. He got very unfortunate with the collision early on, but he is going to be pitting onto another set of mediums before maybe going back, or maybe going to a set of hards. He is very close to being lapped, unfortunately. But as Nico, I don't know if Nico got any damage from that, but it did allow Shermanator to get and potentially hold up DeflatedWee even more than he wanted.
Yeah, the gap between Shermanator and Lister, one of the bigger ones so far in this race. Although the train has stuck together, showing the power of DRS. Looking towards the front, we're seeing most drivers not looking to overtake, especially John and Ethan wants to stay and get the 18 kilometers an hour over speed on the straights. Not much change there.
It's going to be one of those very cookie cutter type. You want to get the exact same lap time every lap, and John especially will just be looking to try and make a gap from Ethan and Alessio by using Cod Camper's pace of a better car. As Shermanator has left the session, so we'll get him back in due course. So it might potentially allow. This is going to potentially allow Nico and DeflatedWee to gain positions from these two. If you can invite him back, that'd be great. Perfect. As long as if you don't have him added, then David also making his way through. Perfect. Is looking ahead. This top four very, very close in contention as Alex is in his first pit stop. Not being able to make use of the McLaren's pace as it currently stands, but hopefully with this early stop he will be able to gain some ground, as it's looking very likely that that guy and Killian will get past him with the undercut. Killian, of course, going on. It's going to be very close actually between Killian and Alex.
Yeah, close fight between Killian and Alex. Alex makes a major mistake into turn 3. Killian secures the overtake. Although Alex has the benefit of the McLaren and the new hard tyres.
As we go back to the front of the grid, as DeflatedWee manages to get past Nico, so Shermanator is back in the session. DeflatedWee managing to use his paces. David looks to make a move on Nico as well, not able to make anything out of it so far. But David looking very, very feisty, and maybe the medium tyres are starting to go off just that much, that way David can attempt to make the move.
Yeah, for those at the back looking at Killian, Alex, that guy and Wizard Mitten, they'll really need a safety car to get anything out of this race. Unfortunately for some of them, like Killian, suffering that unfortunate contact 3 wide on the exit of turn 1. But nothing else to report so far at the back. Then we're looking towards the front. We've got Nico dragging David towards the train in his DRS, and DeflatedWee having get the overtake a while back. They are caught up to the leading pack.
Yeah, John during the third sector looking like he's got much better tyres. There's better tyre saving than Cod Camper. He was getting very, very close to that rear diffuser of Cod Camper, and again during sector 1 we might see it again, but just the nature of this track and it being very, very narrow does not allow any much overtaking unless your name is turn 1.
Yeah, it's like it's essentially one of those tracks where you need to have a lot of bravery to go around the outside or the inside of anyone at any corner but turn 1. It's one of the tight, twisty track, but it's actually made for Formula 1 cars this time.
Yeah, apparently it is made for Formula 1 cars. It is the last season that it's going to be on the grid in real life, and it's potentially going to be the last time that we'll see it in this game. Even we got potentiality of it coming back next season, so we might see it 1 or maybe even 2 final times, depending on what happens.
It has a contract in real life F1 until 2026, so it will be in the next game.
Oh, okay. So we will get the look at it. Nico boxes, so getting off those medium tyres. Maybe it's going for the undercut as Alex has gone wide at turn 10.
Yeah, he's gone for a new set of hard tyres. Looking like he's going to do the hard, medium strategy. Unless he's gone medium before and I'm wrong. Yes, he started
Ne-
mediums. I am wrong.
so
He's
this
gone
is
for the
just his
fresh hard
first stop,
tyres.
as Wismitten comes in and goes on to the hard tyres, potentially looking at going to the end of the race, looking like maybe medium, the hard tyres can do in that 20. I think Ethan said in the practice of it on Monday that they could potentially do up to 25 laps in a race.
Yeah, we're seeing the tyres, especially the hards, can go for a very, very long time on this track. Mostly an anomaly in F125, considering the tyre wear and the unequal performance and how that impacts everything.
Ooh, as Cod Camper, mate, and John may be looking at the undercut. John may be looking going into pit, but it continues on for potentially maybe one lap, as Shermanator has got a 10-second time penalty from speeding in the pit lane. That is not going to help his race by any stretch of the word. But maybe we're seeing a bit of strategy games from John and Cod Camper here. Which one of them is going to undercut the other? Which one of them is going to break the DRS train and change up this race, hopefully for the better? Apologies, that's not been the best race so far.
Yeah, not the best race so far for some due to bad luck, some due to poor the execute strategy, not always due to their own part, but there are many people at the front still fighting on the 14 lap tyres, although we do have Nico, who is the net leader of the race. Not by much,
Yes,
but he is.
yes, we'll see it again. We'll see it again that maybe one of them will fake us. Cod Camper goes in and John pulls out last second, as we see Cod Camper and Alessio coming in for their pit stops now, and that means that we'll probably see John and Ethan in at the end of this lap, as they're both drivers have put onto the hard compound tyres, which will go to the end of this race. And will they get jumped by Nico? And yes, they will. So that undercut, or at least Nico will jump Alessio. So that 2-lap undercut by Nico has allowed him to get past Alessio, but Cod Camper is ahead, currently by 1.1 seconds, jumping on the 2 border. Maybe with the tyre warm-up, Nico will be able to catch up, but it doesn't look likely as of yet. Coming back to Sector 3, will we see John, Ethan, and DeflatedWee, who is still in this train along with David? Will we see the 3 medium runners come in at the end of this lap? Drum roll, please. John comes in, Ethan comes in, DeflatedWee and David continue on. John's got a 10-second time penalty.
Oh,
We were
that
saying
changes
this.
everything.
We were saying this was going to be an issue at the start of the race. Of course, it is a 37-mile-per-hour pit lane speed, and you do come in at very high speeds at the end of the banking. So John has got 10-second time penalty there. That is going to cost him dearly, as he has been jumped by Cod Camper. The undercut has worked in Cod Camper's favour. As back up to the front, David looking very, very feisty on that Sauber car of DeflatedWee. And David does have the use of the drag reduction system, as that guy comes in for his second pit stop of the race. He's back onto the hard tyres that he started the race on. And they've only done 1 lap, so they should still be able to make it to the end. And we will most likely see DeflatedWee come in at the end of this lap. He will be jumped by John, maybe even by Alessio too, and Ethan. We'll have to see where he goes. Killian still running P9, a pit stop behind Shermanator, who is pit. as DeflatedWee is in. So David will continue on, and DeflatedWee will drop down to P7, just ahead of Shermanator.
Yeah, very close so far. Seems to be a strategy decided race mainly. We've got leading Net Park here, and then we've got David 13.9 seconds ahead, who I've no doubt will box in the next lap or two, which will demote him back to where he was before. But mainly a large spread of gaps. We've got our main train fighting, although unlike Tuesday, it hasn't been a safety car yet.
Yeah, and as you can currently see, that John is not within the DRS of Cod Camber, which is what he'll want to be. Because even though he has got that 10-second time penalty from speeding in the pit lane, he will be hoping that he can at least break some sort of distance away, maybe by using Cod Campers. David will continue on, but we probably won't see David in for another 2-3 laps maybe, give or take, and maybe he'll go longer and hope for a safety car. But the only people that are really close together, as John does set the fastest lap of the race of a 12.5, are the two McLarens and Killian, who hit very early on in this race after being involved in that lap 1 incident.
Yeah, very unfortunate that lap 1 incident. Although David's still extending those tyres, he's lost about a second, 1.1 seconds so far over the course of the last lap. And just under halfway to go in this race, and he will have to box soon on those, because of those 18 lap hards. Would not be nice to drive on.
Yeah, he will have the fastest lap, the fastest tyres at the end of this race though. So he is maybe looking at making some moves. As Killian did get passed by Wizardmitten into turn 1, and Alex will potentially be looking at a move as well.
Yeah, he'll be looking for the move on the newer hard tyres, especially you can see how those new tyres are providing so much better grip for the McLaren driver.
Yeah, the tyre difference is 9 laps between Alex and Killian, so Killian definitely struggling as it currently stands. This man decided not to go to the pub tonight, so as Alex goes deep and into the gravel at the end of the DRS straight.
He does retain DRS though.
Is still within DRS, so he will have an attack on Killian if he so wishes, with the use of the slipstream.
Yeah, just to say to the folks how powerful DRS is, Alex was at 0.935 at the detection point, and he's just caught up, what, roughly 8/10 in one straight?
It's very big, the gap. As we go back to David, David still continuing on 4 now. He's lost another 1.5 seconds since we last informed you of the gap. So is it a 20-second pit stop here? Or is
yeah, around 20 seconds.
And John getting past DeflatedWee as Alessio sets the fastest lap of the race. John definitely being let through by Codcamper. No need for a fight yet. Still got 15 laps left of this race. It's not worth wasting your time for just yet.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a few further back, Nico and Alessio and Ethan saving their tyres, not really going for any overtakes. We've still got a lot of this race left. We've got over 10 laps, so it seems to be a race, not sprint in their minds.
As Alex gets past Killian, who has decided to pit, and he probably will be on to a set of mediums. We've got a Ferrari in the gravel, which is Shermanator at turn 8 and 9. Shermanator is going to be losing time. But this group train at the front is still just grouping. And there's nothing much more they can do about it. All they are waiting for is the end of the race. Codcamper getting past John. with the use
Yeah.
of DRS.
John will fall a fair few places back. That puts Nico in net P3, Alessio P4, and Ethan P5.
Exactly, we'll see what has. DeflatedWee gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. He's
Oh,
in the
caution
wall!
set to 1.
DeflatedWee is in the wall!
That is way down for him.
DeflatedWee has done a damn Daniel Ricciardo, which is not how this race was meant to go for DeflatedWee. He was in the Sauber, but he has not had a fun time there, and he has done a Daniel Ricciardo on his own.
Yeah, it seems to be the race from hell for DeflatedWee, the one he saw in his nightmares when he got put in the Sauber this week. And
Oh,
he
he's
has
round
spun.
again! He's round
He's
again!
destroyed around the braking board. That's a yellow sector in sector 2. He has destroyed the 100 to 10.
Yeah, that is why you use that brake for the outside one is gone as
David
David now
Fox.
comes into the pit lane. But the 50 is gone at the corner before. We did not see who the culprit was. David dropping down to what will be P6, and he's got 13 laps to try and catch up to that back of the train and try and make some moves.
Yeah, looking through the lap times, as he has another incident. Is that more damage for him? Or...
Is that
Yeah, he peels into the pit
DeflatedWee,
lane.
or yeah, DeflatedWee will be
Yeah.
coming into the pit lane. He'll be dropping back behind Wizard Mitten and Alex. Maybe just be on board with Killian coming out the pit lane. So hopefully those two can have a little fun ding dong.
Yeah, looking through
Yes.
track limits right now. Only a couple drivers have one warning, but those have penalties, not really due to track limits. Minority that do. Driver
do.
with the most is Alex, who doesn't have.
As we go back to the front of the grid now, there are 12 laps left. Called Camper getting past DeflatedWee with the use of DRS again. Basically the only bit of overtaking we're probably going to get for the rest of this race until the last lap, or the last couple of laps, where we may see some DRS games and the potentiality of Nico, Alessio and Ethan getting involved. They are all within this train as it currently stands. David will also be looking to use those medium tyres, so we'll keep an eye on how quickly he can catch up, but he will have to make his way through 5 cars to win this race. He is 10.4 back as it currently stands. He will be dropping down ever so slightly. We'll give updates of how close he is second-wise as he gets comfortable on those tyres. That guy is on the back of Alex, who is on older hard tyres, so maybe Alex will be looking in his rearview mirror to watch out for that guy in the coming laps.
Yeah, it's very close, especially between the top half, where the main battle is just like Noah says. We've got John go for the overtake with the help of DRS. He gets that into turn 1. And Nico looking for an overtake as he closes up.
Nico having a look there, but nothing was able to come of it yet. No one looking to get involved with anything as it currently stands. As we go back to the bottom of the grid, battle for P8 as it currently stands. Alex is looking for or looking at being passed by that guy, and that guy will make the move pretty seamlessly, and will now be looking up ahead to Wizard, and as he spins, that guy spins, and Alex gets back through. DeflatedWee setting the fastest lap on the race on those new medium tyres, and will now be looking to get back into the top 10. John has a gap of half a second as it currently stands, but Cod Camper, with the use of DRS, will make his way back through.
Yeah, looking at positions, I would want to give special mention to the McLarens who have capitalised on others unfortunate events at the start, and they are now both up to P8 and P9, and they started last on the last row of the grid. We've got John also closing up to Cod Camper. He might try and do a deflated wee, although Cod Camper does stop that, he parks the bus.
Yeah, our biggest gainers of this race being the two McLarens who, as Tacit said, started on the last row of the grid, and our second/third biggest gainer is Nico, who is currently running P3, net P2. That guy does get past Alex into turn 1. David has made up 1.5 seconds in 3 laps.
Yeah, those tyres are very new.
As he gains ever so closer to the back of this train. As John makes his way back through, those two trying to... Nico goes into the back of Cod Camper. He is not able to make anything, any move out of it though. But that, maybe looking at maybe Nico's tyres maybe going slightly worse if he's misjudging his braking points.
Yeah, maybe misjudging his braking points indeed, but we'll have to see, as Ethan's also looking for an overtake now, coming to the end of this race. Tried to have a look at Alessio there, but he was not able to get anything through.
As we go back to the battle for P8, that guy is going to use his DRS to make his way past Wizard Mitten, who now gets a move done and is up to P8. That guy making a good recovery drive after that earlier mistake, which caused him to lose out.
I thought it would be important to say that Alessio and Ethan have been ERS saving. Obviously, I can't reveal the specific amounts, although I can say that it's low.
Yeah, if that does mean that maybe Alessio and Ethan are looking for a late charge in a late charge in the last 8 laps of this race. Oh, I love it when jokes just come out naturally.
Natural humour is the best humour. Although what isn't so humorous is John's being hampered by that 10-second penalty.
Oh, Alex and
DeflatedWee.
Apologies to interrupt. Alex and DeflatedWee getting very, very feisty at the second DRS. Looked like Alex sent a late dive on DeflatedWee, but DeflatedWee still able to head up. Alex maybe getting a foot in the gravel. But that does mean DeflatedWee will now look to overtake Alex's teammate for the night, Wizard Mitten, who he now overtakes and will have 5 laps to gain 2.1 seconds on the fight. 7 laps to gain 1.9 seconds on that guy. And without a safety guy, he's probably going to be P8. However, John and Cod Camper swapping positions again for like the 28th time this race.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of DRS sharing, especially as they can just easily glide through into turn 1. Been looking through the last couple of laps. John and Nico have had the lowest DRS levels in the top 5. Seems that the others have been managing that battery pack and making sure they're in the best position through the last couple of laps of the race.
Yes, so maybe with that knowledge, it does look like Nico is maybe maybe burning his tyres a bit quicker. I mean, he is on a pad, so maybe he is struggling with tyre wear, which is maybe why he's having to burn just to stay with the top 2.
Yeah, as a pad player myself, our tyre wear is a lot more when the wheel drays, so I can see why. And the struggle area for the pad will be turn number 12, where you need to crank a lot of steering lock into the wheel, something you can't do on controller.
As I would pay money to not watch John overtake Cod Camper on this lap, but he gets closer and closer and closer, and he's not making the move stick. So, but John goes deep, and Cod Camper has a little slide. This might be going some other way than maybe we previously predicted. If these two are starting to struggle, then potentially that means that Alessio might be looking for a move on his return to realistic tier. He was the championship leader at one point. He now has a 19-point gap, and and Cod Camper will be gaining on as knows. Apologies. John does have that 10-second time penalty, so John will not be gaining on Alessio, but Cod Camper will, moving the gap up to
2/10. Less than.
in the standings.
I'm
trying to do the math, so 25 points for Cod Camper and
with me right now.
yeah, 25-point gain for Cod Camper and 18 points, so that is a gain of 7, so gap will be 26 points at the end of this race if the results stay as they will when John takes his 10-second time penalty with him at the end of this race.
Yes, as before today's race, Cod Camper's leading at 152 points.
Got a yellow at the end of sector 3, which is Shermanator. Shermanator has maybe touched gravel at the banking. He has got wing damage, so that might be the end of the race for the Ferrari driver. As he continues on, realising that a pit stop will only make his... He has the gap to that guy, so I'm not sure why he didn't pit. Maybe he was hoping for something, but he's going to go potentially to the end of this race on wing damage. DeflatedWee getting past that guy, so maybe there's a shot for DeflatedWee to get past Shermanator at the end of this race. Alex comes in for another pit stop and will go onto the soft tyres for the final 5 laps of this race. He is going to be lapped by the top train. And Cod Camper will make the move on John again.
Yeah,
but John having a look. John having a look back, but decides to settle in behind. Maybe John showing Cod Camper that he is the faster driver and is going to fight him for the on-track race win. But right now he is settling in behind.
Yeah, I forgot my train of thought then, but it has been a while. We do have a caution in sector 2.
And that is Killian. Killian having a spin on those 10 lap of mediums. I'm surprised we haven't had a safety car yet or at all, but we are 2 laps away from the last possible point of a safety car coming out. Of course, last week in Abu Dhabi we had the latest possible safety car that you can get. It was out for 1 lap, which allowed Killian to get the win. But right now he is down in P11 and will probably stay there. John making his way through on Cod Camper. Another big lock up there for the Sauber driver.
Yeah, not much going on. We've got the lead 5, which is by far the most drifting of any right now. We've got the top 5 so close to each other, although it's essentially the top 4 with John's penalty. That could set him back to P6. I think it could set him back to P6.
It will currently set him back to
P6.
David. It will be P6, which will push David up into the P5, which he was so desperately wanting on Tuesday's race. But he was unable to get it after finishing behind Prev, who had a great race on Tuesday. So David will get the P5 that he so deserves.
Yeah, great result for him. Great to see him fighting in the P5 again.
As we go back, as we stay with the top drivers, as Killian comes in for a pit stop. I think he is going for a fast lap. Cod Camper makes the move. He's not as far alongside, so John is going to fight this, and John will stay ahead of Cod Camper here. So Cod Camper maybe not having the pace that he had earlier in the race to to allow him to make moves clearly on the stake F1 Team Kick Sauber driver. And potentially this will allow Nico, as we got yellow flag in sector 3, that is between DeflatedWee and that guy. I presume DeflatedWee was dived on. Sorry for no visual replay of the incident, but the TV crew doesn't get paid enough. So we will have to wait and see if anything gets put into the steward's room later. There will be no safety car in this race as we come to the penultimate lap of the race. John is not going to be able to be close enough to get anywhere closer than P6 with that 10-second time penalty. But Cod Camper will have a look at the move. Maybe John will allow Nico to get past Cod Camper, or maybe there'll be some sort of shenanigans going into the final lap of this race. I think John already knows he's bowed out of this race. Maybe Nico will be hoping that John will give him a helping hand and hold up Cod Camper enough to make a move.
Yeah, very close between the penultimate lap. Cod Camper will want to stay in P2 into the final lap, although I've no doubt John will be defending like a lion to stay P1 on track.
As we do have blue flags for someone in that pack. I believe it is the... it doesn't really matter. But everyone coming through now to start the final lap of this race. As Cod Camper will open his drag reduction system, getting that 80% faster straight line speed. I wish it was 80%. John will allow Cod Camper through, but he fights it, and this is very, very nice between the two of them. John is fighting it, and he will have a look down the inside. I thought there was going to be contact there, but John is still there. John is still there. He's not there anymore, so that might be what the doctor ordered for John. He will have to settle now and allow Cod Camper to take this race win. That means that Nico will have to settle for P2. But as a yellow flag in sector 3, which is DeflatedWee at banking, he's not had a very, very good race. He spun on Tuesday, he spun today.
But we do have Cod Camper crossing the line. Hopefully, if he can defend it, P1. Another win for him, and should be extending his lead in the Drivers' Champion. He passes P1, John drops down at the line. Nico P2, Alessio P3, Ethan P5, David up to P5.
David P5. John will have to settle for P6. Shermanator will be one of the next drivers to cross the line for position. Alex and Killian have crossed the line. I believe Max might have run out of fuel. He is not. But that does mean... And DeflatedWee is also having a fun time out there. He is spinning for glory. And DeflatedWee is having a lot of fun up there, but go back up to P7, so Shermanator will cross the line P7, but be pushed down to P8 because of that guy. Wizard Mitten will cross the line for P9 for a top 10 finish, which is a really good finish there for Wizard Mitten.
So, and he's done going on the controller with limited practice. I feel like that might deserve a mention.
And DeflatedWee having another lovely spin at the banking. And Nico, congratulations on P2.
Yeah,
Alex left before the race finish, so he will have a designated race. He will finish P11. But DeflatedWee crossing the line for P10.
Yeah, I might
There's,
have to say Nico. Is that Nico's best ever result in the league?
Nico,
I
is
know
that
he's
your
got
best
podiums
result?
before. I know I've got written down you had a fair few podiums before. I think it's like a couple. Yeah, two podiums. That's your best ever result. Oh wow! And you were telling me a couple of days ago you had no pace here. This is how it all changes. You get driver of the day by the game as well. Coolest driver to watch. Well done, mate.
Yeah,
Hard
as
players unite.
Cod Camper will celebrate um his race win, his first race win since Japan. Oh no, since Qatar. My apologies. So he will extend his championship lead to 26 points by my math to Alessio on his return drive. So that means for the end of this race, Camper P1, Nico P2, Alessio P3 on return, Ethan P4, David P5, John P6 after getting that 10-second penalty, that guy P7, Shermanator P8, Wizardmitten P9, DeflatedWee P10, Alex P11, Killian P12 after that early race damage, and Max P13 also involved in that incident. That was
Interesting
an
race.
interesting race,
Said in
Jinx.
unison.
That was an interesting race to say the least. I think next week in Monza will be a much better experience for these drivers, and hopefully will be much more exciting as straight line speed in these realistic cars could be the difference maker into what different cars, because even though the cars have their own rating, different cars might work better. Of course, the Williams is known for its low downforce, so maybe that might be better at Monza.
Yes,
We'll
that is
have to
our
wait and
next
see.
race, and it's going to be the 10th of speed. Many overtakes going to be happening there.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that, but that is going to conclude this race stream from the realistic tier round 10 of the Netherlands. We will there will be a combination of streamers on Sunday for the assist tier race, in which I will be trying my very hardest to catch up to Killian and win a race. Like, I just want to win a race, please,
Yeah,
please.
you've got a good chance there. It'll
And
be
then
me on next Tuesday.
yeah, Tacit will be taking over from Killian for the Tuesday race streams for the rest of the season. So you will be back with Tacit on Tuesday, and then you will be back with either myself with Tacit, one
It
of the
should
two
be, yeah.
combinations. Next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. GMT. Other time zones are available. Please make sure you check which one's your own is. But that will be it from us. Like I said, assist here back on Sunday 7:30 p.m. UK time. But that is it from me. That was your cue to say the same thing.
Um, that's it from me. Goodbye.
See you next week.